Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope everyone's been enjoying the conference and all of the really inspirational sessions that we've experienced this last couple of days. I would like to welcome you to the discussion today. It's the University of California DEI Rubric, a guide for equitable, accessible course design. We are lucky to have Kim DeBacco and Alan Roper from UCLA presenting to us. My name is Jeanette Wiseman, and I have the wonderful opportunity with working for the first time with this incredible all-volunteer team that puts on the Peralta Equity Conference. I would like to let you know that this session is being recorded and will be posted to the Peralta Equity YouTube site probably next week. The captions are also on, so that if you would like to use them, just look at that bottom nav bar and you'll see the captions, and you can turn them on or off as needed. And so please take it away, our wonderful presenters.
Thank you, Jeanette. And I will introduce myself and also have my co-presenter, Kim, presenters. So introduce yourself. I'm with UCLA and the Brew and Learn, which is our instance of Canvas LMS Center of Excellence. I'm an academic technology manager. I also am a teacher. I teach doctoral research and writing. And Kim?
Hello, everybody. My name is Kim DeBacco, and I'm Senior Instructional Designer in the Online Teaching and Learning team at UCLA. And I'm also with Alan. Actually, Alan and I also co-chair the UC System-wide Instructional Designers Group, which is a community of practice. We meet once a month, and Alan and I co-chair that, and we have working groups. We'll explain that probably later in the session. We have a working group on DEI that I also lead. Back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, so just a moment here. And so one thing we would like to do, we'd like to know some more about you. So if you don't mind, we'd like to please put your name, your role, and your institution into the chat for us. Thank you for doing that. And also, we want to acknowledge our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the East Bay people, the Momika and Ohlone. And we pay respects to their ancestors and elders and to all our relatives past, present, and emerging. Kim introduced our IDFS community of practice. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. The Instructional Design and Faculty Support IDFS community is a group of instructional designers, digital learning experience designers, and course developers representing all 10 of the UC campuses. And our community meets every month, and we collaborate on effective practices. We discuss emerging technologies, trends that inform our work, and we exchange ideas about improving the teaching and learning experience. And Kim and I have been the co-chairs of this community for the past 2 years, but IDFS has a long history, goes back to 2010, actually. And a DEI working group was formed to discuss the communal goals about DEI resources and knowledge. And this was both just across the UC system and also for our personal and professional development as well. You see the names of the members of the working group here, and there's a long list, and I won't name them here, but they all deserve a lot of credit for the terrific work they've done. So our aim today is to introduce you to the UC DEI rubric, which was developed to support mindful strategies engaging UC faculty with DEI in virtual and in-person spaces for their work. And our agenda today, sorry, I have to move my Zoom screen around. We want to share the DEI rubric and the related materials. We want to introduce our 8 dimensions of the UC rubric. And then we have an activity, because this is going to be interactive today. So think, pair, share activity. What's familiar, what's new, and what may be missing in our rubric. And finally, a discussion, reflection, sharing on the use and application of the Peralta Online Equity Rubric and the UC DEI Rubric for improving student learning. And so today, what we're hoping to have as an outcome of this is we want you to become familiar with our UC DEI rubric and to discuss and share ways for using these kind of rubrics effectively to support inclusive teaching and learning. Our development process, again, like I said, in 2020, we started with kind of an environmental scan. We wanted to see what was out there as far as the opportunities to make the digital engagement of learners more inclusive. And one of the first resources we found was the Peralta Community College District Online Equity Rubric. And also another resource was Wisconsin and Green Bay Equity-Minded Worksheets for Instructors of Online Courses. And one of our team members, Nick Matos, redesigned the worksheet into a rubric. And this also was informed with feedback from our IDFS working group from Tae-Sun Kim, the former manager of strategic diversity initiatives at University of California Office of the President, Jody Green from UC Santa Cruz, and Danny Mann from UC Irvine, and all at the UC Teaching and Learning Centers. We also had a review and editing period between May and June 2021 to February 2022, and also had a survey deployed to gather data on reflections of use of it and opportunities to strengthen the rubric. And now we have a sample of what the rubric looks like. We have a QR code if you want to scan that, because we would like you to access it and open it up. And I think Kim is going to also place that in the chat for you, that link. And this is a folder that we have that has, other than the rubric itself, has many of the assets associated with it. And I want to talk a little bit about the 8 dimensions and what they are, why they're there. So the first dimension is about syllabus and general course design. And this is in an interest of having diversity and inclusion be explicitly recognized and valued in the syllabus and in all of the course design. Also, the second one is student support, where all learners really should have access to academic and student support services throughout the course. Content and engagement. And this is where the learners should see themselves represented in the content that they're using, the instructional delivery of content for the course. Number 4 is the building of relationships. This is where the instructor can build relationships with and among students. And it promotes community building, it promotes academic success, and opportunities for holistic social and emotional growth within the course. Number 5 is implicit bias. And this is where the instructor and learners should be aware of the biases and stereotypes that might interfere with their learning. Number 6 is the technology. And this is to promote education technology tools which support learning outcomes and provide equitable opportunities for all students to have student success. Number 7 is accessibility. Instructor ensures equitable and inclusive practices for accessibility by all learners. And finally, number 8 is continuous improvement. The instructor engages in continuous reflection and self-evaluation, self-improvement. And these are the key components in developing an equity-oriented mindset. And with that, again, I'm going to pass it to Kim now, who's going to lead us in an activity.
Thanks, Alan. If we could move on to the next slide, I've got some instructions for you. Because we are Thursday today in the conference, and this is a discussion day, we want to move towards that discussion. We're going to do a think, pair, share just to get us towards that discussion. What we'd like to invite you to do, first of all, individually, just on your own. You can do it on your laptop, or you can even take a pencil and paper if you want. Select one dimension. Alan just went through the 8 dimensions of our rubric. Just pick one, and we'd like you to check off or identify, write down what is a familiar strategy that you were already aware of, that you maybe, if you're teaching, that you do, or something if you're an instructional designer, faculty developer, it's a strategy that you recommend. Check it off, or check them all off if there's a whole lot. We're wondering if you can see in that dimension what might be a new strategy that you could promote in your work. And a third challenge, if you want to go there, you don't have to do C, but if you want to go there, can you add a new strategy, or maybe switch out something that's very obvious and replace it with something better? something that might be missing from that dimension. We're always looking to improve our rubric, and we really invite your feedback. And it's possible, because you work with the Peralta rubric, that in fact, you may know from experience that something is really important here that's missing from ours. It needs to be in there. So we'd value your feedback on that. One thing I will say is that we have built into the rubric the columns now, next, later. And really that was more an organizational decision for organizing what was originally a checklist of criteria. I originally took the two rubrics, the Peralta College and the Green Bay, Wisconsin, and created a long checklist. And we all looked at this as a group and went, what are we going to do with this? And we decided to create these kind of columns that at first were like, you know, beginners, intermediate, advanced. And I said, no, that is not in the spirit of DEI at all, to be putting a hierarchy on those columns. So we just broke it up as now, next, later. It's a little bit arbitrary. And there's a notes column there for you to put your own notes if you want to use the Word version and work inside the Word version that's available in the folder. But you can certainly make your notes how you wish for this activity. Let's take 5 minutes, and we'll just give you 5 minutes from now, and we'll call everyone back. If you like, you can turn your camera off if you want, if you're more comfortable. Take a dimension and just note what's familiar, what's something new that you could promote or use, and is there something that's missing from the dimension? And I'll watch the time. So we'll take one more minute. 1 minute. Okay, if we could sort of come back together for a moment, and maybe we'll move on to our next slide, Alan, which is our next step. This is the pair step. We're going to go into breakout groups, and we've got a document. I might just share that first of all, which we'd like you to annotate, to write in fact, not annotate, but write. I'll just put that in the Zoom chat. We've got a Google Doc we'd like you to go into. So we're going to put you in group, we're going to ask you to go into breakout groups in pairs, 2 people in each room. So you may be with someone who's worked on a different dimension than the one you work with, but that's great for getting familiar with what's in the rubric, in the UC rubric. And we'd like you to have a conversation and discuss what you noted and noticed in terms of what were familiar strategies in your dimension, and hear from your partner what was familiar in theirs. New strategies you thought of that maybe could be added to the dimension, or hear from your partner about theirs. And you may want to discuss in a more critical frame of mind what are missing strategies. We'd like you to record your notes on any of the above in the Google Doc, and it's been divided up into the dimensions. So it may be that you'll be in there with others in the same dimension, so make some space for each other to type. We're going to ask you to do that now for about 7 minutes, and I'll go in. If there are any questions, please put them in the Zoom chat, or I guess you could raise your hand. I'm going to, oh, I see they're already done, are they,
Yeah.
Jeanette?
Just open them all up.
Oh, thank you, great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. 7 minutes, we'll send a notice out.
Hang on a second. I think, hang on a second. I think we have a problem here. We have to redo our rooms. Just a moment. Just a moment. We're going to, we have to reset them. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I think that they were probably from the last session that did breakout room.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Can you set up new breakout rooms, assigning 2 people to each room and automatically assigning?
But no, I'm just waiting for it to count down. We've got 6 seconds to go.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to go recreate, and I'm going to create. I'm going to assign manually. Hang on, this is really odd. Just a minute. Assign automatically. Let's see, how many participants we got? We've got
21 participants.
So let's have 10 rooms. Yeah. Never was good at math. Okay. Okay, I think we're good now. And I haven't included you or I, Alan, but we can drop around and go around and have a chat and check in with people. Let's go. Let's take 7 minutes from now. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think you're being invited on screen to join a breakout room and to discuss your the dimension you worked on with a partner, and the instructions are on screen. If you joined late, we're working in this Google Doc. So I might just go and join a room and just drop in, and I'm seeing room 3, Felicity's on her own, so I might join Felicity, for example. And if you see another one, you could join
And I've
another room,
noticed,
maybe.
I noticed we have a couple of folks on that haven't joined the rooms yet. So
Yeah.
one more friendly reminder, join the room and talk with one of your colleagues. Thank you. Yeah, I see room 7. Room 10 has just one person. Room 7 has just one person. Room 5. Okay.
Can't hear you. You're on mute.
Alan, in a moment, I'm going to send out a 1-minute reminder.
Okay, sounds good.
We're a couple of minutes short. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to place people who are in rooms by themselves into a room with others.
Don't worry about placing Penny. She's cool. We just had a good conversation.
Okay, cool.
I mean, Felicity. Sorry, Felicity.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I've been called worse. You know, some people call me facilitator, and I'm thinking, no, I am a trained facilitator, but I'm not a
The name Penny is on my mind because another colleague with whom I wrote the EduCourse paper, Nick Mados, has a new baby called Penny. And it's on my mind, that's why.
And also my last name is Penna, so hey, you got it.
You want to broadcast a 1-minute?
Yeah, I am doing it now.
Right.
We're good for time, I think. Yeah, we're really good for time. I'll just put that out. Jeanette, if you're there, do you know if the close all rooms does a 1-minute warning?
You know, I'm not sure with this one. I think typically it does, but this isn't my Zoom room, so I'm not sure how it's.
Yeah, it depends on the settings, and I'm not seeing it give that option, but I'm just going to wait another 30 seconds before I hit close all rooms. Yeah.
That's fine.
We should have a look at the Google Doc too, Alan. Bring that up. Maybe I can do that. You keep this. This is your screen, and I'll have a look in a moment.
Okay. That's good. I think we can close the rooms now. I'm going to go ahead and hit the close.
Okay, 30 seconds warning. That's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. And Alan, we might move on the slides as well. Just a few more seconds.
Oops.
Yeah, it slips. Great. Well, look, welcome back everyone to the sort of whole group focus now. This is our kind of, share part, and this is really the discussion part. We've planned for, but we can actually spend more time than 9 minutes now on discussion because we've moved through really quickly, which was Alan and my goal. We're wondering if anyone wanted to sort of offer some comments, whether it's comments on the section you were working on, or just generally comments about the UC rubric, the Peralta rubric. We'd love to hear some feedback, some comments or questions if you've got questions. So feel free. You can use the chat or you could unmute, maybe raise your hand, and we're happy to take some questions and comments on the rubric. Yes, I think Mr. Peralta Equity. I think it might be Kevin.
That is me. Sorry, I forgot to
Nice
change
to
my
meet
name.
you.
Nice to meet you too. I was thinking for the dimension student support, one thing that might go under next or later to make it a little more concrete is to encourage faculty to go beyond the syllabus and include the links to relevant support in the instructions for each assignment. And this is something that I advocate in workshops so that basically, rather than forcing students to go to a document that they may not have read fully in the first place, say, hey, this is a writing assignment. Here's all the things that can help you. Here's the rubric that tells you how it's going to be graded. Here's the peer review stuff. And here's a link to the writing center that has hours, blah, blah, blah. And so you're just adding links that would support students where they are with the things that might require those other support. And in some cases, I'll even go to non-academic support, like, are you feeling anxiety about the test that you're preparing for? Hey, don't forget that there's the psychological services group that does these activities and can support you,
great.
or hey, there's some mindfulness apps, or basically giving instructors the idea that the syllabus is a great place to include relevant information, but it's not the only place. And so that's why I say next or later, because it's an advanced strategy, but it's definitely something that would support equity for the learners.
That's really cool. I mean, I think that's also part of the instructor voice, in a way of supporting and helping. You're building up that sense of care and interest in what's happening. Felicity, I see your hands up. You'll have to unmute.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to let you know, as I shared with you, I've been teaching online since 2004, and I came up with different ideas. One of the things that I do in what I call a module 0, that's where I put all kinds of information, but nothing is for free. I test them. It's an open book test. That's the only open book test. So I tell them what's happening. Where do they have to go to, if they need disability, if they've never been tested for disability, why don't you? You never know. And stuff like that, and I make it funny, and I put like emojis there, watch out for this one, just give them hints. And then I give them 4 to 5, depending on whether I'm teaching summer or, the other, because, the weeks are shorter. So I have to watch out for the points. So I give them between 4 and 5 points, and they do very well. And at the end, of course, I have, tell me, what's best, what you wanting to add more, blah, blah, blah. And then I keep adding or deducting whatever I can. I think to entice them, give them a little bit of, leeway to work with and have fun. It's all about having fun with the next generation. And remember, between 8 to 12 seconds of attention. So thank you.
Yeah. And that reminds me, a lot of the instructors I work with, do the syllabus quiz type idea, and it's a similar thing, but yours goes beyond that in a way when it's in your getting started module at the beginning. Some really nice ideas and some experience coming through. Yeah. I'm wondering about other dimensions of the rubric. Did anyone dig into the technology one, which is not my strength at all, but then, or other dimensions of the rubric? Any feedback?
Anita?
I just had a fun connection. So I grabbed the implicit bias area because I think it's what we don't do very well with, not just your rubric, but the ones that I've met. And so, but I use the UCLA implicit bias tutorials. Does everybody know about these? And I want to know if the two of you had anything to do with creating them. They're really good.
No.
And I'm talking specific. Did you do these?
No, but thank you for alerting us to them. UCLA is a big place.
I do know that. Anyway, they're very good, but I think faculty, that we have to work on ourselves. In addition to improving our course designs and our facilitation and understanding our students and all the other wonderful things that are part of rubrics, we got to take a look. We have to be able to identify what's going on in our own brains and hearts and minds. So anyway, thank you. Anyway, it was fun to make the connection. I gave you all the credit.
It is. That's so cool, Anita, and I might be able to use that. I've actually received funding from the Office of the President for the UC system to do professional development for the instructional designers around the system that meet through IDFS. When we first considered DEI, everyone said, oh, we'll make a rubric and kind of externalized it. And I was thinking, no, how can we work on ourselves? We're role models. We have to be able to communicate well with faculty, and there are all sorts of power issues there when you're an instructional designer and you're working with faculty too. Certainly, it's more pointed perhaps at UCLA. I don't know. It's delicate. And, we have to inform ourselves as instructional designers on implicit bias, on, how do we understand our own identities, histories, roles. And so I'm really working on that through a new project. And I mean, out of that will come some improvements to the rubric too, but I think we need to work on it ourselves. So I hear you. And I think those videos could be very useful in one of our sessions. So thanks, Anita. Other comments and thoughts? We've got 10 minutes left in the session, I think, Jeanette, just a time check.
We have 10 minutes, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'd really love to hear. And also, I guess we'd like to open this out beyond, if you'd like to comment on dimensions of the rubric, feel free, how you might use this for in your own teaching, your own course design, but also question 2 on screen. How can we individually and collectively use these rubrics to support student learning experience at our institutions beyond just course design and teaching? Some of our instructional designers in the UC system are using these, using the DEI rubric in interesting ways on their own campus that does not involve consulting with faculty. There are other ways the rubric can be employed. And I'm just wondering, you know, there's a conversation about this as well. And I'll give you an example. UC Irvine and UC Riverside have separately taken the rubric and they've adapted it to their local campus context, and they've produced their own versions of the rubric. They're free to do it. You're free to do it if you want to, but they've produced their own versions. They put them up on their websites and added some contextual comments around the rubric that they've created, and they're using it in their workshops. And yeah, I mean, it moves beyond being just a tool for the individual instructor or the instructional designer. There are other things we can do. I'd love some thoughts about that. And maybe Kevin and others in the online equity team, you might have some thoughts to share about how you used your equity rubric as well.
Can I jump in? Yeah, I think the most important thing here is like my experience, actually, what I hear from faculty is at first it's so overwhelming for them because when they see the rubric, like your rubric, Peralta Online Equity Rubric, they really feel overwhelmed. And they say, oh my gosh, this is too much work. But actually what we always say is like, this is an ongoing process. So you cannot revise your course in 1 day, 2 days. It's an ongoing process. I've been revising my course for years, and there's always something to add. There's always something to change, right? So I think acknowledging that it's like an ongoing process, it's acknowledging that just one step at a time, and these things are really important. Not to people feel overwhelmed with this, but I also know that showing data like redesigned courses, the success rate in redesigned courses, and how student retention and success changes also motivates, I think, everyone to take a step on this too. Yeah, this is my insight.
We like the idea that it might encourage conversations, and there's what I'm hearing, different kinds of conversations. Conversations with colleagues, conversations in your department, in workshops. Yeah.
But those conversations can be tough to participate in and or facilitate. We've had conversations in the Peralta Equity team around how do you address the vulnerability required for someone to say, yeah, I looked at my course and yeah, there are materials that exhibit bias, or, basically, as Didem kind of hinted, we're telling folks your course is great as it is, and we want everyone to think that they can still make it better. And so you're an expert in your field and in content, but have you addressed the needs of all the learners in the class in a way that doesn't change your workload? We're not saying create individualized learning plans for every student. We're saying create multiple pathways for students to succeed. Those kinds of things reduce the perceived dangers or the perceived barriers for faculty to engage in this type of work.
Yeah. Felicity, go ahead. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. And thanks, Kevin. I just wanted to find out, I'm sure you do, but as I said, I have a module 0, and right after that, I have a survey just want to get unbiased, you know, and I give him a point or two. As I said, nothing is for free these days. Just a thought.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I really like that thought about, Kevin, that you mentioned about multiple pathways for students to succeed. Has anyone else who's joined us today, have they used that strategy to maybe provide more than one way that the instructional content is delivered, or multiple ways for students to do activities, or multiple assessment strategies?
Natasha has said yes.
Yeah.
Natasha, do you want to tell us about that? You're still in the room? Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, no. Hate when that happens.
I mean, it's not okay, but yeah.
All right.
I guess we're looking for any final comments before we go to our closing slide, because there is something else. Matthew Moore, you're laughing your head off a lot. Did you want to say anything?
I am honored to be here, and I am a little bit taken back by all the brains in the room. So yeah, I'm thankful to be here. I think the main thing is if you can, humble yourself in front of your students to express that you made a mistake, something went wrong. I need to fix something. I think that goes a long way when you're trying to reach out to your students. So yes, there are many biases in everything we say and do. I've been bombarded by the 150 that's on YouTube or Wikipedia. They're sitting right here in my office. So just to let you know. But yeah, if we can just keep it simple and realize that you've got different students in your classroom, I think it goes a long way. And you may not meet all the needs at that particular point in time, but try to reach out to them for sure. So yeah, thank you.
I kind of resonate with that, because I also feel that sometimes faculty feel overwhelmed, and I say this is just an ongoing process. You can't do it all at once. You just pick something and work on that. That's why we've got the now, just focus on the now, next and later. There's no kind of point of perfection here, or you don't have to be perfect at all. It's a process. Alan, just back to the final slide. So if you'd like to give us more feedback, if you want to play around with the rubric, or if you've got some more critical feedback, you haven't put it in the Google Doc, we have a feedback form. There's the Google form where we seek feedback from colleagues. So, and so there's a link there. I need to put the link in the, or are you doing it now, Alan? I'll just put the link into the chat. Oops, I don't want it to be a private message to Felicity. There we go. Because Felicity and I were in the same breakout room. That's why. So there's this form that we've got. It's a Google form, and we'd really love feedback from anyone who's been in the session today. Our team is going to be meeting soon. We've also got some recent feedback from UC Santa Cruz, and we want to start working on the rubric. It's another time to work on it again, I think. Apart from that, I'd really love to sort of, and Natasha has put an example in the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Oh, okay.
We've got a minute, Natasha.
Yeah, no, I was just saying I provide an option for students to choose between, for example, audio, graphics, or they have a choice to write. It's the same topic, but they have several different options for the assignments as to how they submit.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to express that and articulate that today. Well done.
Yeah.
I think Alan and I would like to thank everyone who's come to today's session. That was an additional slide in case we had extra time. We're not going to do it, but over to you, Alan.
Okay, and thanks again, everyone. We again thank the Peralta Community College District for the inspiration that kind of started this entire initiative. And it's a work in progress, as Kim has said over and over again. We have not gotten this perfect. We haven't gotten it 100%. It's a work in progress. It's continuous development. We look forward to opportunities to partner with other communities of practice. And we hope that this will be the beginning of an ongoing dialogue between our institutions.
Thank you, everyone.